Hi, good evening. We're going to call to order the Township Committee meeting for Monday, August 25th. If you're willing and able, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll move on to the Open Public Meetings Act. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, notice this meeting was sent to the Cranberry Press, Trent Times, Home News Tribune on January 3rd, 2025, posted on Township's website, and sent to those who requested a copy of this notice. Next, we'll move on to roll call. Mr. Christopher?
Here.
Mrs. El-Badawi?
Here.
Dr. Rogers is absent. Mr. Scott?
Here.
Mayor Kinnear?
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have any changes or additions to our agenda this evening?
No.
Okay. All right. Can I get a motion to approve both the regular and the closed session minutes from August 11th?
So moved.
I'll second.
Thank you. We'll move on to roll call for both sets. Mr. Christopher?
Yes.
Mrs. El-Badawi?
Yes.
Dr. Rogers is absent. Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mayor Kinnear?
Yes.
And that's for unanimous when absent. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Who would like to go first for updates? What we've been up to the last couple weeks?
As is often the case, my committee did not meet. So they took August off. I have nothing to report. I will have a rec meeting coming up soon and I'll report back then.
I guess we'll go in order. The only meeting I've had since our last meeting was on the 19th. We had an HPC meeting, had some conversation about the Pertinic property, had a special guest star. Kevin was able to join us to give a bit of a explanation of the affordable housing situation. HPC has some, I'll say, suggestions for potential site alterations at 1274. They said they may join the planning board tomorrow, I believe. So I would not be surprised to see them there. Went over some new signage for a new business in town that's taking the place of Lido, the former sushi restaurant. I won't break any news today, but I'm very excited about what the replacement is going to be. Since it's not there yet, I won't spoil it for anyone. They also had a working session on the amendments to the historic district with additional edits ongoing, and they'll send those to the planning board once they're complete. And that's it. The school board meeting is this Wednesday. I will attend that. They had their retreat last week. So I figured I would not intrude on the school board's retreat.
Speaking of Board of Ed, I was asked if we could include on the mayor's update and the bi-weekly meetings, the upcoming Board of Education meeting. And because it affects taxpayers,
Yep.
I didn't see any reason not to do that. So when we have upcoming meetings, it's usually for township boards and commissions, but again, because it's a resident taxpayer body, I thought it was applicable, and I didn't know if there was any objection to including it.
I think it's a great show of partnership.
Actually, the library board app made a similar request. I was going to report out on that.
Ah,
The board of
that.
trustees meetings does not get put on the mayor's updates, and they were asking if it could.
yeah. I mean, I don't see why not. But yeah, I mean, it's
No objection here.
any objection?
You can put whatever you want in your mayor's update. We're not probably gonna have it on the calendar because.
No, not it. They were asking on the township website, and that I said no to that, but I figured in the mayor's update for upcoming meetings, we could have them.
Yeah, where it says upcoming
They
meetings.
just won't have the agenda linked like all the others. That's
Right.
the difference.
Okay, okay.
With that, is it okay for me to
Unless,
continue?
any questions for Rob?
I am very excited to find out what that business is. I have to find my way into the inner circle to find that out.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you all so much. So I met with the library board. They had a meeting shortly after our TCF. I forget
I forget what that date was. And they discussed future programming. And I did take the inquiry from Parks and Rec regarding the chess tables and whether it would be okay to plant additional trees to provide shade on the chess tables during times when it's very hot. And they would like to keep things as is for now, sit with what it looks like for a year and see what it looks like for next year. Granted, the chess tables were put in at the hottest time of the year. And so I think the novelty of it, everybody wanted to use it, and it was maybe not the most encouraging weather. But there is a wonderful chess club that works out at the library, and hopefully in better weather like these days, they're able to use those tables. They did work on their guidelines on how to reserve the community room, and I appreciated them doing this because it just shows how they're responding to the needs of the community and how they are learning from previous practices as well. So kudos to them. The planning board meeting will be holding a special meeting tomorrow. I'll be in attendance of that. And our affordable housing subcommittee continues to communicate on issues pertaining to our application. I did want to share with the board that I appeared before HMFA this week, August 21st, regarding their proposed 250-foot industrial buffer. And Cranberry, Lisa Knierim, Mayor Knierim was very good to provide sort of very detailed written suggestions to how to amend that language. And I went in person with a more, a lighter message, but a message certainly from Cranberry with requests to how they could help us help this community, honestly. And it was met well, but as you know, you speak to a board very poker faced and you leave kind of not knowing. And it was very short. I actually, given how hot the issue has been, I anticipated a lot of people. And I was one of 4 speakers, and there were 2 people from Cranberry. So technically Cranberry was 2 of 4 speakers. I mean, again, a little bit interesting. And this evening, as some of you saw, I had a little information session with the Scouts, and they were very excited to be in this room. I think for some of them, this is the first time they're in this building, which is pretty cool. And that's it. That's all I've got.
Great. Thank you. Yeah, I guess we learned what it's like to be on the other side of public comment. So I thank you very much for representing us, along with Wayne Whitman, the chair of the planning board, that attended that. I was away on a business trip, so I couldn't attend that meeting, but I sent a cover letter in and a letter basically, asking for some help. I've also been requested to have a meeting with the governor's office on Tuesday. So just in full disclosure for the town. And I imagine it's a result of the meeting with HMFA.
If I could just add to that little piece, Mayor Knierim, this meeting that we had, like the meeting that I appeared before, we couldn't have it earlier because they instructed us to come only during their public comment, which was just very recently opened. And their public comment period will end on the 19th of September. So we could not have had this earlier. We couldn't have muscled our way through.
So that answers one question. If that public comment is open until September 19th, we likely won't hear anything back as far as alterations to our, whether our request or not, until after that, I would presume.
Correct.
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 I would
Thank
anticipate
you.
probably mid-4th quarter. So it gives them time to close public comment and then digest what they've heard or the lack of what they've heard.
So happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
I'm sorry, you said it closed on September 19th.
Yeah. And again, I mean, that's no different. Their speed is no different than any other local municipality or state-run government agency. So the pace of that doesn't surprise me in the least. But again, thank you for going.
Oh, my
I
pleasure.
really appreciate that. I have a bunch of updates from public comment last meeting. So I'm going to save those and I'll go over them right before public comment for this meeting. But I'm happy to say that I've got some updates on, I think, just about every public comment that was made. Today, I was on NJTPA. Please don't ask me what that acronym stands for. But it was about the study that they're doing north and south for truck traffic. And it's a subsequent it's a jumping off point from the traffic study that was done last year and concluded last year. So I was on their webinar today. They had invited representatives from Monroe, South Brunswick, and Cranberry because they're very, very focused on exit 8A. And that affects the 3 municipalities there. Dr. Rogers was also on that call today, and she attended it. I think what the immediate ask is from us is, and it's probably a year out, is a formal resolution of support for that initiative. I hear the word support and I immediately saw dollar signs. So I specifically asked the question and said, no, it's no like any other initiative where it's just a resolution saying that Cranberry supports what they're trying to do. They have an interesting approach to it. So they're looking at demographics, historic sections, open space, wetlands, floodplains, endangered species, and anything hazmat related in this area of 8A. And when they talked about the stakeholders, they obviously talked about us, our residents, and our community. But they were also talking about the trucking industry and that they were going to reach out to some trucking companies. And I asked some questions, and I mean, a mild objection is most truckers are like independent contractors. They're like LLCs, and they're independent of a large. They're contractors basically, and if that's the case, they kind of like march to the beat of their own drum, right? And are probably not going to be very familiar with the code of Monroe, and then they leave there and they drive through Cranberry, and then they leave here and they drive up north to South Brunswick. And so I was very interested to make sure that they paid really special attention to like how you're going to implement anything that's going to help with traffic flows on that. But again, they're just kind of kicking this off again, and they got everyone together. They'll be having some public meetings. They'll be reviewing obviously all of our municipal codes, and then they'll have some outreach to the same municipalities again, so they keep us informed on their progress. But it's just good to see that they're paying attention to it. So that was an interesting meeting that I had today. As Amanda stated, we've got a special planning board meeting. That's tomorrow night at 7 p.m. here in Town Hall. And I don't really have any other updates. So that, we have no subcommittees and we have no department heads this week. Okay. We have no first readings. Oh, vacancies, sorry. Okay, we are, besides Municipal Alliance, we're on alternates, which is very exciting. We have a first alternate Environmental Commission. We have a first alternate and second alternate open. The Zoning Board is a second alternate. At Municipal Alliance, we have a full membership as we received a resignation from a resident this week. So we have another full membership on Municipal Alliance that is open. Okay. And we have no first readings this evening, and so we'll move on to our second reading.
Okay, we're going to have one ordinance for second reading, which is Cranberry Township Ordinance Number 08-25-10, an ordinance of the Township of Cranberry, Middlesex County, New Jersey, authorizing execution of a financial agreement with Cranberry Senior Apartments, LLC, pursuant to NJSA 52:27D-320, and a tax exemption and payment in lieu of taxes pursuant to NJSA 52:27D-320 for property located at 1274 South River Road, Block 5, Lot 16.01.
So we're going to open public comment, and this is open public comment specifically for this ordinance. And then the TC will discuss if there's any comment from any of us. And then we'll move forward, and then there'll be an opportunity for public comment, anything unrelated to this ordinance. So with that, is there any public comment on this ordinance? Okay. Is there any comment from any Township Committee member? I'll close public comment. Is there any comment from any TC member? Okay, seeing none, can I get a motion to move?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second?
Okay, we're going to move on to roll call. Mr. Christopher,
Yes.
Mrs. El-Badawi,
Yes.
Dr. Rogers absent, Mr. Scott,
Yes.
Mayor Knierim.
Yes,
Thank you, it's unanimous.
thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to resolutions. Can I get a Motion to move consent resolutions A and B, or if anything pulled out, if anyone wants one pulled out. I'm very excited, by the way, to see Resolution B. That was a lot of hard work on Dr. Rogers' part. The county was really helpful. And if those that didn't read it, this will be a flashing crosswalk across Old Trenton Road, connecting Millstone, Washington Drive in Shadow Oaks over to Millstone Park, which also be, I'm hoping, a deterrent to ease some speed as you come into Cranberry there as well. So
Very exciting.
can I get a motion to move A through B?
So moved.
I get a second.
I'll second.
Thank you. We're going to move on to roll call for those. Mr. Christopher?
Yes.
Mrs. El-Badawi?
Yes.
Dr. Rogers is absent. Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mayor Knierim?
Yes.
Unanimous. Thank you.
Quick question.
Yep.
We have a timeline? For the light?
Oh, I don't.
Ms. Marabella?
So now that we adopted it, it'll go back to the county, then they have to get it on their agenda, they have to adopt it. And then we're actually going to be doing the work and they're going to be sharing in the costs. So once we get all that, the technicalities done.
By the end of the year?
Hopefully,
Okay.
Solar,
All
right?
yes.
Solar.
Yes.
It's the same as the other flashing crosswalks that we have in town, which is great. Okay. All right, so before we open it to public comment, I wanted to go back and address public comment from our previous meeting. The first public comment that we had, just make sure I got this right. We had a resident asking about the signage in Four Seasons, that they were really, really faded. So I would like to thank Jerry and DPW. Literally, I think the next day, we're out there driving through Four Seasons, and I believe it's 10 or 12 stop signs have been ordered for Four Seasons already. I'm not sure when they'll due in, but that'll at least help. And I think that that's maybe even more than they had. So I think it'll help with the flow of traffic in there and certainly cut down if anyone, which we still can't figure out because there really doesn't seem to be a time advantage of cutting through Four Seasons with their speed limit. But if it is, we'll slow them down even more with these stop signs that they can actually read. So that's good news. We had Mark Burkowski here representing CHA. And then again, I think it was the next, or before that had come to the planning board meeting for the old Trenton, old Cranberry Road property, and that moved through the planning board. So that's exciting that that moved forward too. And Resident Paul Lindenfeld was asking about DPW's leaf collection. And I did some research on it with the help of Jerry as well in DPW and Ms. Marabella. And we used to do it a long time ago. We'd pick up leaves, we'd pick up all that stuff, we'd mulch it, and then we would put it in Village Park. And then people thought that was a dumping ground, so people started dumping other things there. So that was our first problem. The second problem is that we had a lot of resident complaints about bugs being in the mulch and termites being in the mulch and ripped up poison ivy that then generated poison ivy when people picked up the mulch and brought it back to their house. So it was a big nuisance where we were getting a lot of residents' complaints on that process. And what we do now with that mulch is we give it to a local nursery. And that prevents us from paying anybody. They take it, which is really great. And it's a cost savings for us because we don't have to pay anyone to take it off our hands. So we're still kind of investigating if there's any way that residents could have access to that mulch. But, we don't want to ruin a good thing because we're not paying for that mulch to be dropped off there. But at the same time, it's just going there. But, we would have to do anything like that with a concession that we still don't accept any liability for termites, bugs, any infestation that would come with this mulch. And we just don't want to open ourselves up to that. So that's still a little bit of open, but a little bit of progress on that. Trying to think of what else. We had a resident that unfortunately, when they were paving Old Trenton Road, the county got a little ambitious and cut a little bit too far into the right of way on Old Trenton Road. And we had a resident that some of his trees were actually fully taken down, not just branches. Called the county as soon as I had heard about it. They called me back literally 15 minutes later. They were investigating whether it was a utility company or maybe, anything like that. Or it was, we made absolutely sure it wasn't our Department of Public Works, which it was not. Calling me literally back 15 minutes. They're like, it was us, no problem. Sent a supervisor out, spoke to the resident. They agreed that they're going to replant 6 trees for them. And they're going to do it in September when the weather's cooler so that they risk them being healthy and thriving. So it was a really quick resolution. And I was very grateful. The resident actually, there was something nice posted on social media. So that was a welcome change. But anyway, so I just wanted to follow up. So I know there's concerns that we're trying to interact when we're talking to everybody, and when we can follow up with things, we like to follow up the next meeting. So I believe we're continuing in that cadence. So those are the updates. And with that said, I will now open it up to public comment for this evening's meeting.
Evening, Caroline. How are you?
Caroline Wisniewski, 45 North Main Street. I wanted to bring up a problem that we have in front of the restaurants on North Main Street, and it's bicycles. I understand we don't want kids riding in the street, but unfortunately, when they ride on the sidewalk, while there's customers and staff running around with food, it can get a little dicey, and I myself have been run over. Is there any possibility of putting signs, one on the corner, one at Dennis White's driveway, saying, bikers, please dismount? So I think that would be a good thing, because then you have more control over the bicycle. It'll be a lot kinder to everybody. So that's my request. And I have a comment about the traffic study that was done. When we had the meeting in the school about that traffic study, the county did not do a very good job presenting.
Which traffic studies is
This is
one?
the local one where we were allowed to make comments online, and then they came and presented.
Okay.
Unfortunately, their format for presentation was awful. They would not allow us to ask any questions to them directly. We had to go stand at 6 different pods and ask our questions there. That was ridiculous. So please, I urge you to be very careful and cautious about what it is that they are presenting, because they were not transparent in any way, shape, or form that day.
Okay. I think we'll have opportunity to give feedback to them as they go through this process, which is good. I just wanted to bring up thank you. I wanted to bring up to the TC's mention, this is like the second time I've heard this comment about bicycles. And then recently, in a short period of time. And also recently, I guess there's I want to say bike gang sounds really not right. A cyclist group that we had gotten some feedback on that had gone down through Main Street, like at a very, very high rate of speed. As we know, some of those, racing bikes, cyclist club can do that. So I'll make 2 commitments. One, I'll follow up with Dr. Rogers, because I know that she's very in tune with some of those cycling groups, to see if we can just ask them to be a little more conscientious when they're going down Main Street. And then as a follow-up, I also think maybe engaging with CBA, the Cranberry Business Association, for this request on sidewalks and stuff like that. Maybe the local businesses in conjunction with us, maybe we can come up with something.
Mayor, I wanted to share with you that Parks and Rec also has a connection to the cycling club that parks their vehicles in, I think they start from Village Park, right? And I think they're the ones that donated the contraption, the fixing, repair. Little
Yeah, the bike
contraption
repair.
thing. Right,
Yeah.
so they do have a connection with them too.
Okay. Awesome. Any further public comment?
Hi, Jennifer Lindenfeld, 20 Griggs. I just like to ask why we don't consistently fly the American flags in our parks. Village Park has a pole, but no flag, no light. Heritage Park doesn't have a pole or anything. They're public spaces. I think that it's appropriate for all of our parks to have an American flag flying. I don't know, I don't know if there's a reason why we don't have that.
I've never thought about it until now. I know the reason they don't have a light is because our parks technically close at dusk. So they close at dark, so there's no reason to light them. So I can give a quick answer
Okay.
to that one. And then I'm staring diligently at our liaison to Parks and Rec, and Matt will take that.
Can you have an American flag up that's not lit?
If it's not lit,
You have to take it
Yeah,
down.
so if it.
it has to be lit. Oh.
Yeah.
It either has to be taken
You have to
down.
take it down. every
at
day.
dusk.
Or you have to take it
Or you
down
have to have
at
it lit.
dusk, or it has to be lit.
Anyway, I'll bring it up with them.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other public comment?
Good evening. My name is Marty Flynn. I sent a letter to you and to the governor, a letter requesting you remove the Henry Family Farm from your list of designated properties for affordable housing. This will allow Mr. Henry to qualify for farm preservation. We wanted to put a name and face together. That's why we're here tonight. Joseph Stillwell is my running mate. We're running for the Assembly LD 14. We know it won't be easy. We're working very, very hard to represent Cranberry and the other towns in LD 14. But I think it's important for you to know that, if your efforts continue, that our first order of business will be to make every effort to rescind this, what we feel is a travesty. So again, just wanted to put a name to a face, wanted to let you know how we feel and how a number of people out in the communities, not only in Cranberry, but throughout LD 14. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
That public comment?
Press the button over here.
Press the right-hand
No,
button?
no,
It's
it's already
on?
I know, it's
Okay,
not
okay.
intuitive with the red
I don't have to
light.
talk,
You just need to sign in
okay.
and then state your name, please.
Joe
Name and
Stillwell,
address.
203 Grayson Avenue, Hamilton, New Jersey, where the letter came from. I just hope council deliberations, I know you guys have a long history of doing affordable housing well here in Cranberry Township, but what's going on with this farmer situation, nobody likes it around here. I see the signs, talk to the members of the community. It's a travesty when we attack the culture of New Jersey being the garden state, making it the warehouse or overdevelopment state. And I do hope before the deadline, which I'm aware of is the 31st of August, if I'm not mistaken, for any alterations to the plan is considered, because the people here, they seem to have a long memory when things go wrong. And this is not right. And so I hope council reconsiders the track that it's on in regards to this issue, because what's the next town that has to face this? Your piece of property is private property, buy it. Just because the government says it? That's not what eminent domain is for. It's for the public, it's for public good and the common good of the citizenry, not just development for this and the way this has been handled. So I'd like to yield my time and think about it.
Just for clarification for the public, the challenge period to our round 4 affordable housing plan ends the end of August. So that's just the challenge period of when people can challenge the legality of our plan, just to clarify.
Mayor Knierim, I think it might be beneficial also to just mention that with regards to our affordable housing and this 250-foot buffer, public comment is open for everyone to make. And if it will be helpful to this process, again, I reiterate, I was essentially one of 3 people that were there providing comment to try and actually alleviate the stress on this situation. So
Yeah, I would urge everyone to educate themselves on HMFA's 250-foot warehouse buffering. Public comment is open for a reason. And I believe I can make my letter to HMFA public. I will add that under the affordable housing section on our website, if it helps people understand what our pushback is and that we would like it to go away. If it can't go away, we're requesting a modification to the language. Any support we can get from the public in terms of public comment, I'll leave it to you to figure out what that might mean for our community. But I would encourage you to educate yourself on that particular rule. Everybody. Any further public comment? Okay, seeing none, we will close public comment for this evening. Action items.
So for the bicycle issue, I'll talk to Parks and Rec, but I mean, do we want to discuss further any possible, I don't know, encourage Cranberry Police Department to help us keep the kids off the bikes, off the sidewalk rather, or signage? I mean,
So I think police and also CBA, to see if businesses, maybe jointly together, we can come up with something.
I wonder if there may be a little bit of a school outreach as well to say, can we talk about bicycle safety and etiquette and courtesy? Because a lot of these children are in the school.
Well, and it seems easy enough. They can just ride on the other side of it. Even if they wanted to stay out of the street from a safety perspective, if they're young kids, the other side of the street doesn't have businesses, won't have the same issue, riding through people eating dinner. Seems reasonable. Cross at the school, then drive up that side of Main Street.
I feel like we can figure this out.
Yeah, I think so.
Seems relatively not complex.
And then the flag issue, I will meet with Parks and Rec next week or 2 weeks. I'll bring it
Okay,
up.
perfect. And I'm still on mulch duty to see what I can find out, see what we can do. Okay, all right. With that said, can I get a motion to adjourn?
We'll keep the pattern going. Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is all my friends.